Hello class. In this video I want to continue basically something about setup. For the class I'm thinking I'm filming this for, you're probably not really going to need it, but I think it's an important technique that I want to put it in the video, alert you to it if you need to go to it for another class, say for Design Studio or something like that. It's good, and that's what I sort of created this image for. I purposely made this presentation board long and narrow, and because if you're doing a studio presentation, you might have many more drawings than this, and you're pinning up over a 12-foot span, or longer by how tall it is, and you might need to print out several pages to put it together. So maybe you could make a big long string like this out of the plotter, although our plotters tend to have a data limit that prevents you from going too long, but certainly if you're going to stack it long and tall, you're going to use several pieces of paper from the plotter. And my recommendation is to build a presentation in Adobe Illustrator all as one unit so you can see how things lay out together and whatnot, and then use Artboards to print different segments out. And that's what I've sort of set up here. And so when you start a new presentation, like I did in the previous video, you get one artboard. That's the white area that represents the paper that you're going to draw. But what you can do is you can come down over to your Artboard button, which is right here, and just like layers or anything else in Illustrator, you can hit the new board button and a new artboard comes up, and if I zoom out you can see now I've got two pages. Now here they put a little bit of gap in between, but what I can do is I can go and do document setup and edit artboards right here, and you can select any of your, I'm just going to close that, artboards, and you can move them around, or in this case I could make them touch if I really want to make a full unified presentation. Like that's what my example presentation is, that they're touching. And you can go ahead and add, I don't need you anyway, you can add as many artboards as you want. So I can add another artboard. It pulled it off to the side, but I can go ahead and pull it down below the next, and I can add another artboard and have it go down here. It's going to zoom in and pull this over, and there we go. I can click off on my arrow, and then I can start drawing as if this is one presentation, but then print out 4 pages and pin it up on the wall as 4 pages. All right, so if I come over to this large presentation, we can see with my artboard open, I do have 2. I've got 1 and 2, and you can see a subtle shift. I don't know if you can quite see it on YouTube, but there's one artboard is here, and the other artboard is the second half here. I designed it all as one. This image goes across as one. In this case, I'm using sort of a full bleed. Now, with the equipment we have set up here, our plotters won't do full bleed, so we'll cheat just a little bit and just scale the fit. When you print, it'll scale it ever so slightly, unnoticeable, and then trim off the white margins that you don't have anymore, and then pin it up on the wall and pin them together. And that's how you can make really unified presentations, because my preference is, I know not this isn't necessarily everyone's, but my preference is, if you're going to do a big presentation, think of it all as one unit, not as separate pieces of paper with different orientations or anything like that. It's all one. I can have this big image, big splashy thing going across pages, a line across things, and have it all looking really professional. And so you do that with multiple artboards so you can print out the individual units. So it's a good handy trick that you can use for any presentation.